Hey everybody, it's Amr Zahir, and for white people that's Amr Zar, and we are a people full of love. Why has Israel bombed Gaza into complete oblivion since October 7th, obliterated 70% of Gaza's homes, leveled mosques, churches, hospitals, excavated cemeteries, conducted controlled demolitions of universities? Does all this catch the terrorists, save the hostages? It's almost like Israel wants the people of Gaza, and in fact the whole world, to look at the utter destruction and say, no one can live here anymore. Wait, no one living there anymore. That's exactly what they want. Since 1948, Israel's had a problem, a people problem, a demographic problem. And they've had a people problem because we Palestinians, well, we love each other very much. I mean, we are hot and sexy, every single one of us. We make babies, lots of them. 2,000 years ago, we got a woman pregnant without touching her. What did you think would happen when we start touching each other? Right now, in the land between the river and the sea, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free! What? Oh, sorry. Focus. Right now, about 14 million people live in the land between the river and the sea, and about half of them are Palestinians. For Zionism, that's a problem, a big demographic problem. They want us to leave, but Israel's been misjudging us for 75 years. They really thought that after all this murder and destruction, every Gazan would be lined up begging to escape, but they're not. Maybe they thought we do that because they do that. The first generation of Zionists said they came to an empty land and made the desert bloom, a land without a people for a people without a land. Well, surprise, they were lying. There were already people there, already blooming. The Palestinian Arab civilization before 1948 was vibrant, filled with artists, intellectuals, and teachers. As my mother says, "Akhaduha mafrushe," they took it fully furnished. My father's parents were teachers in Jaffa in 1948 when they were ethnically cleansed, refused the right to return, dying outside of their hometowns and homelands against their will. When Israel was first created in 1948, it was almost entirely a white European movement. But since they didn't come to an empty land, and since they didn't succeed in getting rid of every Palestinian, despite massacres, ethnic cleansing, and destroying over 500 villages, they needed more people to ensure a Jewish majority ethno-state. But they didn't have enough people to fill it up with just Europeans, although they would have loved to. By the way, the main reason they didn't have enough Europeans was because of the horrific genocide of the Holocaust, which was perpetrated in Europe by their fellow Europeans, not Palestinians, not Arabs, not Muslims. As a justification for continued ethnic cleansing, Israel still invokes the Holocaust, which again was perpetrated in Europe by their fellow Europeans, not Palestinians, not Arabs, not Muslims. So in the 1950s, Israel decided to bring Arab Jews. Along with the gross misbehavior of some Arab governments, we also know that Israel conducted operations, at least in Egypt and Iraq, where they bombed synagogues and created chaos in order to encourage Jews there, many who otherwise had no desire to leave their homelands, to flee to the newly created state of Israel. And Arab Jews went, but Zionism doesn't like Arabs. It never has. It's been pretty anti-Arab. In fact, the government of Israel stole thousands of Yemeni babies and gave them to white families, to keep down the brown numbers. But Israel still didn't have enough people, so Israel rescued tens of thousands of Ethiopian Jews from strife and upheaval there. Before their migration to Israel, though, a major debate unfolded between European rabbis as to whether Ethiopians were in fact Jews at all, because, white people are the judges of that. Well, eventually European rabbis gave the thumbs up and Ethiopians were admitted. But Israel doesn't like black people. It never has. It's been pretty anti-black. Israel discarded blood donated by Ethiopians without testing it because, black blood is always infected. Ethiopian immigration has been curbed by Israeli authorities, and Ethiopian Israelis in 2009 held their own Black Lives Matter marches when Israeli police murdered unarmed black Israeli citizens. But even after Ethiopian immigration, there still wasn't enough people. So then, after the fall of the Soviet Union and the images of people waiting in line for bread, Israel sent delegations to Russia and told people, hey, if you have one Jewish grandparent, or just tell us you do, you can return to your homeland, Israel. Today, in a nation of around 9 million Israeli citizens, Russians make up about 1.3 million of them. Do you know what's going on with many of them? They are falling in love with and marrying Palestinian Christians. They are being buried in Arab Christian cemeteries. They are filling Orthodox churches on Sunday mornings. You know why? They're not Jews. They're Christian, but they're white, so I guess there's no scandal. And this brings us to Gaza today. Why do Israeli officials and commentators keep talking about drive them to Egypt, exile them all, destroy every neighborhood? Because it's not only about land. Sure, they want the land, but more importantly, they want to empty the land of us pesky non-Jewish natives. Why? Because they have a people problem, and the people are Palestinians. Like I said, we make a lot of kids. They drop bombs, we drop babies. But it's not only our God-given talent that leads to huge Palestinian families. This is on Israel too. When you oppress people, limit their mobility, choke their economic growth, deprive them of their basic rights, well, they make more babies. I mean, when there's no internet, Netflix and chill just turns into chill. Lots of chillin' every night. Chillin'! Now, Israelis often say, how can it be an ongoing genocide when the Palestinian population has grown?
Between 1990 and 2022, the Palestinian population overall went from 2 million to 5 million.
Well, part of this is true. Yes, since 1948, Palestinian birth rates have been double to triple the global average. In fact, from 1960 to 1965, the Palestinian birth rate was 8 children per woman. 8 children per woman. In the face of apartheid, we have erected a culture of reproduction. We have laid the foundation of life. We are quite unique like that. We are nailing Israel right in the face. We have made a lot of babies precisely as a form of resistance to persevere in our lands and everywhere else we exist, because Israel sees us as a demographic threat, because Israel's been trying to erase us for 75 years. Dear Israel, we are coming for you. We are out the genocide. Sorry. Look, there's no mystery here. A racist apartheid regime built on preserving an ethnic majority doesn't like it when the pesky natives keep making love, generation after generation. Israel is trying to reverse the demographic threat, quickly eliminating 2 million of our people. But every Palestinian knows one thing. Right now, our hospitals are full of our martyrs. But one day, this massacre-filled genocidal war will end. And 9 months later, those same hospitals will be overflowing with jubilant Palestinian mothers, birthing more and more of us. Baby after baby after baby after baby after baby. Oh, baby.